This is the end of our official program. I'm going to give the chef in charge, or the management of the chefs in charge, a chance to speak, but I'm going to take 1 minute for myself. Because I can. And I just wanted to say, it's because it is International Women's Day, and I am moved by your speech, and as I kind of spoke about a little bit earlier, how we're all affected. It's International Women's Day, and I feel that I would be a little bit remiss to not mention the woman who is the most important person in my life, and that is my own mother. And my mother, and here we go. My mother right now is struggling with Alzheimer's. She's 87 and she lives in Vegas, and it's okay. It's all right. She led a long, full, hard life, and you're going to hear a few seconds about, yeah, I told you a minute. Okay, a few seconds about that, but it's very powerful because my mother actually was a very powerful woman when she was actively doing things in her life. She raised 3 children. My mother started off as a home ec teacher. She was married to my father, who unfortunately did a lot of drinking, a lot of womanizing, and she had to leave him at some point. When she couldn't take anymore, she took her 3 children to the Midwest in the United States, out of New York City. And she had 3 things that she wanted us to accomplish. Not 3 things, she wanted us to be educated, because education had been her way out. She went from being a home ec teacher to becoming a counselor educator, and she became the very first African American ever to get a PhD from Indiana State University in the United States, and that was in the 70s. So. Also was one of the first African American commissioners of corrections. So yes, my mother ran the prison system for New York, which is larger than Denmark and Sweden and Norway. She was a badass. But she, very, very quiet, very, very humble. Really, you would not think we were related. True story. She also she took over the National Migrant Association. She was the president of the National Migrant Association and was one of my first forays into public speaking when I was about 15. And that's just a little bit of what my mother accomplished. That might be history book like viable, but the most important thing for anyone who had ever met my mother or who would meet my mother is she is the nicest, kindest, and much like your mother, I would have discussions, things about family or friends or something of falling out, and then I would say, want my mother to take my side, and she would be talking about an ex or something, and she was like, his problem is not with me, my problem is not with him, you have an issue, but I'm sorry, that's your problem, not my problem. We're all equal, we're all able to have conversations. So she was very, very amazing to be able to do that. And even now, even though she doesn't know who she is in the same way that she was, and she's lost to me in terms of that person, she's still a very, very nice woman and a very, very friendly woman. And when you go to the place where she lives now, she is the first to, when someone comes in and they're sad and they're confused because their loved one has left them there, and she will go over and start counseling them, because that's what she does. She likes to be busy and she likes to be in charge, but in the most loving and fantastic way. So I tell you this story not to just share with you about my mother, but it's to, whether it's your mother, because everyone unfortunately doesn't have that feeling about their parents or their mother, but someone in your life has made that impact. And when I say someone, read woman in this particular scenario. And I would like you to all just take a second to honor an important woman who's in your life. Because while we have been speaking about women who have made their face visible, have made their voice visible, we know who they are. They have become famous because they've written amazing books. They have worked causes. They have famous parents. They have worked on different projects. The thing is about all of you in this room, much like what Corrine said and many of the other speakers, you all have a part to play. You all have a chance. And nobody knew who Nelson Mandela was, who Winnie Mandela was, until they became Nelson and Winnie Mandela. Nobody knew who Zinzi was until she made her voice out. Sarah Omar, and I can go on, but because I told you it was going to be a minute and now it's 3, I will say, think about that. You may not have reached your goal for what you want your life to be about, but you have a choice right now. What do you want it to be? And go for it. Full gusto, none apologetically. Whether you're a man or a woman, you can do it. And you have people in this room, chances are, who can help you do it. So I will say, on behalf of Crossing Borders, I believe I can actually say this, that all of you had a chance to sign up with us. If you sign up, we'll get the information disseminated about the websites and the contacts so that we can further the dialogue, because I am sure that is the whole purpose of being here today, not to just be one day out of the year to celebrate. It's to begin a movement where we all use our voices and move forward. Correct, Garba? Did I summarize that well? All right, so. And now we're going to be able to get to the food. So first, Karen's going to explain a little something, something. Thank you. There you go. Karen, oh, you didn't do it.
I was thinking, where's the hug?
I hate when I pick up the microphone after this ladies, because like it's like, what the heck I'm going to do? You're interesting because it's food, okay? But like, bear in mind that it's going to be good. My name is Karen, and I am Brazilian, and I'm also got to know Crossing Borders last year, and I'm trying to help as much as I can. I'm a single mother, and I'm a master's student, which just had like access to education when like very old. I'm gonna be 40 soon, but I'm still doing like my master's in economics, and I'm working. And very funny you have to say like, let's make something electronic for us to actually get into contact, because I have been having this conversation with Garba, and we tried to actually go around to find some app developers, and you know, like I didn't get the answer for anybody. So you know what I did? You know Hack Your Future, like the community that actually teaches refugees and like asylum seekers to code? Yeah, I subscribe for that, and I'm gonna do the app myself.
Yay!
If nobody does it, we're gonna have to do it ourselves. So, we have Crossing Borders Global Buffet, and I can tell you, not that we have been like picking up the food before, we're just trying to see what's not poisonous, and like that was amazing. But we have like a lot of countries here represented, and I'm gonna start to actually get some of those amazing ladies that actually took some time to give you guys some like taste for what it is to be global. Do I have a Manal here for Syria?
Yeah. Representing Syria.
Our friend Manal here, she have made hummus. Motabel, is that how we say motabel? And like you famous Arabic bread, and like I'm gonna actually get in the latest with the order the food is like placed. So bear in mind so you don't forget it. In the buffet you're gonna see what is vegetarian, what is not vegetarian, what is savory, and what is dessert. Okay? So right now I have like, what is the girls from Vietnam? Joni Lon.
Representing Vietnam.
Those ladies have worked like manually, like very hard as well. They have made shrimp spring rolls, they have made chicken dry spring rolls, and vegetarian spring rolls. And they have like dips and like all these kind of things. Like don't eat everything so we can have leftovers to go home afterwards, okay? Okay, Nepal. Tena and Selena. Where's Nepal? Ladies? Come along. I'm gonna try to say like proper. What is Selena?
Tina.
Yeah, Tina.
Tina.
Yeah.
She's coming, she's coming.
Tina is coming. So is Furandana, did you say? Yes. Furandana. Okay. Oh, we have learned a lot with these girls. Come. So we have the Nepal team here. Yes. Now we jump to South Korea, lady. Come around. Mean Green.
Representing South Korea.
And she have made a gimbal. Did I say right?
Yeah, right, perfect.
Awesome. What is Stella from Hong Kong? Hong Kong in the house. Come on. Hong Kong has in the table chicken fried rice and veggie stir fry. So like you guys can see like it's gonna be like a hard time to actually eat all of this and like leave it your feet. Like thank you ladies, yeah. And next one, what is my lovely lady Sarah from Eritrea? Sarah?
Sarah?
She is around. She is around.
Sarah?
Okay, we're gonna jump to the next one. Done. Come along. Guyana. Come, lady. We actually have an interesting discussion in the kitchen because, like, we have somebody next, like in South America, that was just like us, and yeah, she comes with Guyanese patties. It's gonna be like amazing. Don't eat everything, please. And of course, we actually have like the hostess in the house, Denmark. Denmark comes with now the dessert part, okay? We're talking about exactly. Like this is not a diet thing. So you have Josephine, Carson, Camila. Like, what is the cake, ladies? Come on, Denmark. I think they're snacking in the back, like they're getting stuff because not anybody has done that before. No. So like they have like two different cakes. They have like a famous chocolate cake because everybody loves chocolate, and then we have like a puff pastry snails, and like they're like, oh, I heard it. Nobody told me. Okay, and then you have like a, where's Japan? Chica. Chica. Okay, come the cake lady, Yes. And then, well, from Japan, what do you expect to have? Of course, you're gonna have green tea cookie. if you're gonna see the precising of like the cookies, you're gonna like, there is a lot of work, like, and then last, but not the least one, I'm sorry, we have this last one.
Oh, representing you. Representing Brazil.
Well, hello. Representing Brazil, I'm gonna tell you. Hi, I'm Karen, and I'm actually a chef. I have done 2 culinary schools when I was a little bit lost in my life. Because my mom is a chef, my father is a chef, my sister is a chef, so I was like, I'm not going to be a chef. That was the only thing I knew what to do when I left my country. And to make like the long story short, there's a lot of people here that are living here, but they're not Danish. Some of them it's by option, and some of them because they're running away from something. Unfortunately, this second option is my life. So in order to run away for some sort of violence, the day that I found out that I was having a baby girl, I decided that it was time to leave. And this creates a lot of like identity crisis in order for you to actually understand who I am, because I don't want to be sometimes where I am, just because I don't know like how to create myself comfortable here if I want to be somewhere else. But in order to actually make a safe word for girls, safe word for my girl, I need to be in a place then, if it's 10 p.m. in the night, she can stay outside without me being worried. And unfortunately, this is not the situation in my country right now. In my country right now, from the statistics from 2018, 11 women are murdered each hour. Wow. You need to think about the fact and like how safety can play a role in your life. How can you actually direct yourself from your future and from the future of your children? And I'm sorry to guys, but one of the reasons that the world might not be like such and like a fixer right now is because us women, we are busy working, cooking, and raising children and taking care of the earth. Because if you don't have like this sort of all and global work to do, I'm I'm sorry, we would be working in a way that actually we could, all of us, be 100% free. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. I just have, you can move on. I'm not hugging everybody here. Later. Out there. Yes, thank you. Okay, now this is really the end. I just need to make you aware of, with my glasses, that tonight at 9 o'clock, so you can kind of party with us and then move on, to see an important film about South Africa called Women's Rights, Standing on Their Shoulders, or Women's Nights. Women's Rights. Standing on Their Shoulders.
Which channel?
And it's at Cinematique, which is right down the street, well, kind of over here. Wait, where am I? Goddesgade Femmeheltras, or Goddesgade 55. And that's at 9 o'clock. And in case you can't make it tonight, the film's name is Women's Rights, Standing on Their Shoulders. And if you don't make it tonight, then look for it soon again. Thank you. Thank you to Cross the Borders. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Really, really quickly, I would like to tell you two things. The first thing is, before I forget it, is there have been a lot of people working real hard for the last 10 days to do this event. And they are the Crossing Borders team and the members of the South African Embassy team. So I think that they should also come up here and get a round of applause. Omar. If you're wearing a Crossing Borders t-shirt, if you belong to the Crossing Borders t-shirt team, get up here. But I really want to say, Omar especially, thanks. He is the artist. His name is Omar Al-Sayed, and he is from Lebanon. And oh my, shameful.
We
We were talking about Lebanon yesterday. Okay, yes, sorry. He's from Palestine. And no, where are you from? Okay, from the war.
Middle East.
He loves women. It's not about you today. It's about her. And so he has done this beautiful drawing for us, this illustration. And if you happen to be around any of the malls in Copenhagen until closing time, you will see this ad. It's running every minute throughout all of the shopping malls in Copenhagen. So we are spreading the joy of balance together. And our last partner here is International Women's Day, and we are also on their site, so we got 1 million people there. And here, please, I'm not necessarily, I'm just bringing you up for the applause. Bringing you up for the applause. Please. Yes. Yes, this is really not representative, and oddly enough, many of the very key women of Crossing Borders are actually out of the country at the moment.
Yeah, plenty there.
There are some, come on, women of Crossing Borders, get up here. I don't think they heard the announcement.
Julia.
But many are actually out of the country on projects and doing things, and that's a little bit sad that they couldn't be here.
Ukraine and Turkey, there are two.
Yes, I don't know where they're you guys, I really need you to come up here because now that I'm starting to be very unpopular. They want to eat.
Julia, Veronica.
Oh, okay.
Yes, all right, there you go. I knew Julia would come. And this is also for those of you, if this is your first entrance to the Crossing Borders world. We also have board members and we have advisory members and everything like that. But pretty soon we're gonna need to flip and I could just say everybody who's sitting is a part of something, so just wanted to acknowledge all the hard work that was done. This amazing team, you can just see it's like the better version of the UN in my world. It's just amazing, and I am thankful for everything that they've done, so I'm giving them a hand, and then you can go eat.